So in Halo 2, there's a challenge that has remained untouched for 21 years straight. And there's a pretty simple reason for this. It wasn't possible until recently. So can I complete one of Halo 2's last unbeaten challenges? Let's give it a shot! Earlier this week, the E3 demo for Halo 2 from 2003 just released in full. To celebrate the 20th anniversary of Halo 2, 343 Industries came out with this demo map that was never released. This is one of two maps that's slated to come out. The setting for this map takes place somewhere in New Mombasa in the middle of a heated battle between the Covenant and the UNSC. Realistically, this demo takes place during one of the first days of the Covenant invasion of Earth. And for the past 21 years, no one has been able to even crack open this demo, let alone get into some challenges. Obviously, it was never released until now, and there's a pretty simple reason for that. If you're not well aware of how long the development process for Halo 2 took place, well, it took a couple years, and that was even a couple years ahead of schedule. Halo 2 was a massive game on a very short turnaround time, and the developers just didn't have time to complete this demo in full. And the original developers, Bungie, were on a time crunch from Microsoft because they wanted to make more money from Halo. But Bungie didn't agree with this. They wanted to spend a couple more years developing this game because the state that it was at release was almost not playable. So many of the levels ended up being cut completely short of what they would have been. And some levels, like the demo, were so glitched out with development problems that it was almost unplayable. The game developers quite literally could not release this demo because it was so bad. Well, flash forward 21 years later, and 343 is still riding off the coattails of Bungie by releasing their old content. They were able to get this demo in a playable form, and it's available on Steam. Anyways, enough about the backstory, let's get into the actual challenge. Now, I wasn't originally planning on making a video about this map, but someone familiar that you might know reached out to me. A guy from Down Under, Mint Blitz. And he said, yo dog, you gotta try something out on the E3 demo, there's a lot to be had. And I had heard about the demo at that point, but I wasn't really jumping to play it or anything. I had other challenges lined up for the week. And to be completely honest, I thought it was just like a scripted thing where you couldn't even play through the mission. I didn't realize there was a whole sandbox environment. So I booted this up and immediately I knew what I wanted to do. There are these skyscrapers strewn all across this mission, but there's one that stands a head taller than the rest. The tallest skyscraper was significantly taller than the next closest skyscraper. And my goal was really simple. I was going to try to land on top of the tallest skyscraper with a live vehicle. Now, was this even realistic? Probably not. But was this possible? Also questionable. But I was going to give it a shot. I knew I would need a little bit of help, so before I even started up this demo, I asked Mint Blitz if there were skulls enabled for this. And to my surprise, he said yes. So in one instant, I went from, I could play the demo or not, to, I have to do this challenge before I can move on with my life. So before I even booted this up, I knew I was going to need 2 players. So I had my brother join me on this. But also, I knew that I was going to need to enable some skulls in order to get the distance to get all the way to the top of the skyscraper. I was going to need to go insanely far. So my first idea was to enable the Pinata skull and try to stack a bunch of plasma grenades together and blow this giant explosion up. I was going to park this explosion underneath a vehicle. But I also enabled a few other skulls. The Feather Skull, which makes objects a lot lighter, the Sputnik Skull, which increases mass acceleration, and the Boom Skull, which multiplies explosion radius by 2.
What is the point of this?
This is the demo, dude. And I want to get to the top of the highest skyscraper. But the problem is, we don't have any checkpoints. So immediately I ran into my first problem. There's 2 different variations of this demo. One is the sandbox map, and the other is the actual mission. The problem with the sandbox map is, there aren't checkpoints. And right before this, my brother and I tried to play the actual demo where you're fighting enemies, but it kept crashing.
Well, you can go ahead and restart, but wait a second, I want to jump down.
Oh, I just got a fatal error? So to make this challenge even more difficult, we were going to have to somehow find a way to do this without repeatable attempts. And my first idea was to use the Pinata Skull. This skull allows you to beat grenades out of your teammate. I was going to see if this was similar to the Halo 2 physics, which allows you to beat grenades out of your teammate, and then you can move them using the shots from a gun. You can stack these into a pile and then use a live plasma grenade as ammunition. And then boom. Okay, the Pinata Skull works, but weirdly.
Everything's red. What does it sound like?
Okay, you can't throw grenades when you have dual-wielded weapons. Well, that didn't seem to do anything. So immediately my idea to use the Pinata Skull to create a grenade stack to use to launch a vehicle on top of the tower was not going to work. The physics of the demo don't match the physics of the actual release at all. When you explode grenades on the ground, they have an animation to explode, but there's no actual explosion. So that meant I was going to have to find another idea. This Warthog's really turny. Oh, the power slide's like weird as it just
It's
stops.
probably the same as CE then.
It like turns on a dime.
Yeah, this is CE, dude. The Warthog would whip around like this like crazy.
So our first idea was to use a Warthog to land on top of this skyscraper. But we quickly found out that the Warthog's physics were almost exactly those of Combat Evolved.
It didn't change anything in this. It just took CE, copy pasted it.
Although it's skinned like a Halo 2 Warthog, it drives like it's on ice. So to add one more degree to the difficulty, the physics of doing this were not going to be the same as the physics of doing a Halo 2 launch. Oh, watch this, watch this. I figured this one out earlier. This one's hilarious.
What?
Throw a grenade at that guy. What, you walk right through him? Okay, how about we just try to launch from here? Get out.
Look at all those bullets, dude.
Get out.
Here, put one of these in your mouth.
So our first idea was to throw 2 grenades under the Warthog at the same time. Okay, we're going to throw a grenade under these tires. Now look up in the air and make sure you have a frag grenade equipped. So in the demo, you can't tell whether or not you have a frag grenade or a plasma grenade equipped because there's no on-screen HUD for it. So both of us had to verify that we had frag grenades equipped before we did this. Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Holy shite. I went right through the crack of the 2 skyscrapers on the first attempt. Dude, the
crack challenge has been completed.
So the problem with doing this Warthog launch is, again, I don't have any checkpoints. So every single launch attempt, I go too far to walk back to the other vehicles. So reverting to the last checkpoint is essentially the same as restarting the mission. And it's actually faster. But is it efficient? Hardly the case. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
We're gonna have to go to the last checkpoint.
You mean the restart mission?
3, 2, 1. Let's try it again. 2, 1. Dude, we could definitely land on top of this tower with the Warthog. If we just park it like close to it. So now that we had solid confirmation that we could in fact get the height required to get on top of the tallest skyscraper, our strategy shifted. Instead of trying to throw grenades under the Warthog right outside of the spawn, we were going to take this just outside of the skyscraper and shoot relatively straight in the air so we could land on it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah.
2, 1.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's land it from here. 1. Not even close. 2, 1. The hell was that?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Although we were only a few attempts in, the idea of taking the Warthog over to the base of the skyscraper to throw 2 synchronized grenades under the tires at the same time was exhausted. The setup time in between each attempt was taking anywhere from 30 seconds to over a minute. If we wanted to have any chance at actually landing this, we were going to need to have attempts. A lot of attempts. So instead of setting this up at the tower every single time, we would launch the Warthog wherever it landed if both players were in the proximity of the vehicle. If in any situation it was faster to restart from the beginning of the mission, we would do that instead.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
You do back, outside, left. 1. You're awful. Terrible grenade. After about an hour of Warthog attempts, this was not working. The timing and precision, coupled with the amount of time in between each attempt, was just not getting it done. But we still had hope because there was one more vehicle. The Ghost. We first tested to see if a player could stand directly underneath the Ghost to throw a frag grenade. Then we tested the power of a frag grenade explosion directly beside the Ghost. If you just crouch, can you avoid a... Oh, shh! With this now realized raw power of a frag grenade explosion just being around a Ghost, what if I just... We now needed to test what a frag grenade directly underneath it would do. Wow, dude, this is like the Ghost is like a sniper. Anyways, here. There we go. Dude, we could dude, this is too much. This is crazy. Dude, I almost hit the clouds. So with this newfound discovery of nuclear explosivity, we incurred our next problem. We now had far too much power. In order to get on the skyscraper, we were going to need to be precise. And if we were flying 1,000 feet over it every single time, it was going to be pretty difficult to land on.
Launch me one of those ghosts.
Is it too much?
Maybe.
Now that we knew we could throw a frag grenade generally underneath the Ghost, we employed the same plan that we had for the Warthog before. The plan was to take the Ghost just outside of the skyscraper and launch almost vertically but a little bit towards the tower so that we might land on it.
I'm gonna try and splatter you, but I can't.
Dude,
oh.
You just ruined my Ghost, dude. This just, you know how much this cost? This cost $33,000. Okay, you ready?
Alright, you ready? Wait a second. Real quick question. Do you have ghost insurance?
No.
We need to see your card. Sir, stop resisting, please. Three, 2, 4.
Ooh, this might actually be perfect. Hit the top ceiling, come on. Go down. Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Don't do that.
You know, I went pretty much straight up.
I found a hidden tunnel. I know I didn't. I just didn't go that far before. Oh.
It's nice to know that the demo never stopped the Ghost flipping from being wonky.
Alright, I got this now. You're out of here.
It's funny. Dude, why am I trying to get in the Ghost and it's taking me to the Warthog like 70 feet further?
It knows what you really want in your heart. The hog. Alright, ready?
Ham hog. Oh! Dude,
Coward.
Watch where you're going. I'm the one drinking and driving. You're gonna get me in trouble. Oh!
Yeah.
No, I think I'm a little bit off.
Yeah. No. Hey, the building's the other way, just so you know. Dude, do you think Master Chief ever joked, dude? Master Chief is definitely not a gooner. He's a good man, a non-gooner. Ooh.
Give me the Ghost. Where's the Ghost? Where did it go?
Here.
It's gone. I just need to not go straight up.
Well, there's a ghost for you right here.
Hey, bud.
Jeez, dude, are you a hell jumper, dude?
Yeah, dude, I'm a hacker. So quick little tidbit for you about the demo. If you take your character model and run into a vehicle, it will act as if the vehicle splattered you even if it's not moving. Blood comes out of your suit, which brings up a good point.
Dude, first of all, I'm in a sealed suit. How did this much blood come out of me? Is Master Chief a donut?
So after nearly half an hour, we had only gotten a handful of attempts in with this ghost. We were beginning to lose hope. And then, we actually had a promising attempt. You know I had to joke, right? Oh, that might actually be good. Now, this attempt wasn't that close, but it was the closest we had gotten to this point. We decided to speedrun a couple more attempts, taking the ghost from the spawn area all the way to the base of the skyscraper. The amount of time it took to travel to each setup spot, in addition to all the time that was spent in the air before even realizing that the attempt failed, was really just costing us too much time at this point. If these speed attempts didn't work, we'd have to figure out a different plan. Gosh darn it. Not even close to good. The precise velocity of this is crazy.
Halo velocity.
Alex, I made it. Halfway up. At this point, we were an hour and 40 minutes into this, and we had nothing to show for it. Things were not looking promising. If we couldn't even get the ghost on top of the tower lined up directly next to it, how were we going to get any vehicle on top of the skyscraper? And then, it came to me. I had the perfect idea.
That's what people don't understand.
Dude, should we just try to launch from here? Would it be easier?
Whatever. I don't care at this point.
Instead of driving the ghost all the way to the base of the skyscraper and wasting a bunch of time, my idea was to park this ghost in roughly the same spot outside of the spawn. From here, we would be able to hone in attempts by making micro adjustments with the frag grenade placement. But also, I switched my idea to land on the tower entirely. Instead of trying to land directly on it, my idea was to launch it all the way to the top of the map barrier. If you noticed earlier, when a vehicle hits the top of this map barrier, it goes roughly straight down. So I wasn't going to aim for the top of the tower, I was going to aim for the top of the map barrier above the tower and try to land straight down.
Am I getting my beard? My man pid? My myriad? Hey.
So all I need to do is just head in that general direction and hit the top of the map barrier above the skyscraper. That's all we need to do. So I just need to line it up. It's not that hard. Seriously, it's not that hard.
Listen, we both know I'm the tricker, dude. You've been fronting like you are, but it's been me this whole time.
You've never been good, dude. You never once on f***ing Headlong Wraith pinched someone, pressure launched another player onto the skyscrapers, dude, outside of the map. You never once did that. That
Chat,
was
are
me.
these words? Are these actual words, chat?
Pressure launch with the Wraith.
Pressure you to shut your mouth.
Look it up.
Did you look at my ass?
The fuck? TF was that?
Dude, I'm playing this game from
dude.
I'm done.
Don't stand up under me, man. You're flipping my vehicle.
Maybe if you were a better driver, you wouldn't have this problem, idiot. Dude, just put fries in the bag. Oh, bro, you might have it that time.
That was actually pretty close. This time, try to throw a grenade looking up. We wanted to quickly test whether or not you could throw a frag grenade directly underneath the ghost while looking up. Maybe this would lead to some more predictable attempts. Okay, never mind. And we instantly found out that grenades just phase right through vehicles.
Where those grenades went, we'll never know.
Dude, trust me, it's gonna be easy, dude. We'll get this done in 50 hours.
It's loved every moment of this, bro.
Every day is pain.
Every day is a struggle.
Every day.
Every day. It's a fight between me and the rope. Too fat for the rope.
I want you to throw the grenade right under the back, at the very back of it. I've got the YouTuber accent. That's what people tell me. I've got a YouTuber accent. Okay, a little bit too far, but actually good. Actually, really
I've been
good.
fondling my dog's nuts.
So that one was as far past as the previous one was as far short. So we need a middle ground between the middle, where you were throwing it first, and the very end. Although we were 2 hours into this, we were starting to dial it in. Landing on top of the skyscraper was becoming a real possibility.
There you go. He's got that dog in him.
Oh, shit. Just a little bit further... A little bit further forward.
On my perspective, it's no, but we'll see.
It's no for sure, but a little short. But it's...
That's what they call it, a little short.
We're talking 50 feet.
Good.
It's gonna be close. I think I might...
Closest
I
with
think I
the
might
most.
be hitting the slanted part.
You can't call him that. That's rude.
Oh, if I had boost, maybe I could have got up it, but that was the closest we've gotten so far. I was really close to the top. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this earlier, but ghosts don't have boost in the demo. When you're flying through the air in the normal Halo 2 game, you can make in-air adjustments by using the boosters on your ghost. This means this launch is done without any assistance. But after just over 2 hours, we finally hit somewhere on the top of the tower.
That looks pretty nice.
And then on the very next attempt, we almost did it again. At this point, it was becoming inevitable that this was going to happen. We just needed to keep pushing forward. Well, this might actually turn out.
Now look, the ghost outline is just a giant
It's got a secret button on the side.
big ghost. Why did I say rainbow?
Ooh. Damn. That was close as hell. Can't see.
No, you're looking like you're gonna make it, dude.
I just missed.
The
Just
potatoes
missed.
are. There we go.
I think I'm gonna miss by like an inch. I missed by an inch.
All right, I got it.
What the f was that? Now that is a waste.
Speed. It was a speed attempt, dude.
It's not a quality attempt. Don't even do it.
You know, quality for your mouth.
Correct.
I give my all, and this is what I get.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yes! Let's go!
You have given it a shot at this.
Whoo! I really did not think. That is...
You did not think, correct?
Whoa. Shut up! This is my moment!
It's my moment.
Ruining
After
it.
The grenade. It's mine.
Oh my, dude.
All right, now I'm gonna do it in one try. There we go. Look at that. Perfection.
One thing I want to know is why are the clouds moving so fast? It's actually disorienting how fast the clouds move.
Look at that. Look where I landed. Look down on me.
All I see is a giant green arrow.
Oh, that's where I landed, dog. I landed a trick. No one's ever landed here before, so eat that.
I'm
Shilt
sure
show.
someone has.
Shut the f up. This thing released like today or something.
The thing that's nice about this is even if you had the acrophobia skull, you still would have to do the same exact thing to get up here with the vehicle.
Spell acrophobia.
I got a BRB.
Oh. Alright, folks. This is where I'm going to tell you all of Schultz's deepest, darkest secrets. He has information to lead to the rest of Hillary Clinton. If he releases that video, he's done, bro. He's done. He knows Jeffrey Epstein's secrets, bro. He knows. Taking a big fat dump right now. Big fat shitterino. Big fat schmino. Figaro.
Hey, I'm up
His
here.
password is